This is the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show here on the New Horizon Radio. In association with Haversley, experts in the sale of lettings, estate agency and block management businesses. If you're thinking of selling now or in the next 5 years, get in touch. They're a friendly bunch at haversleygroup.com.
Welcome to the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show here on the New Horizon Radio. And this week I'm going to be showing you how to make the switch from summer to winter effortless. Learn how to winterize, and that is my word. I'm going to TM that one. Your favorite summer pieces layer with style and invest in quality. Wardrobe staples that last with no fast fashion needed. So kind of the summer to winter and how to make the transition smooth. So, for instance, what I'm wearing today, for the purposes of radio, I'm wearing quite a summery, lightweight dress, but I've actually popped a blazer over it and boots. But in the summer, I could wear this with a trainer and a sandal as well. So that's what I mean by winterizing. And in a couple of weeks' time, I think I'm going to actually bring in a dress that I would wear with a jumper. And I'm going to show you how to wear a jumper over a summer dress. It's super, super easy. And it's a great way to, as I say, winterize. So I see the seasonal switch from summer to autumn as a perfect time to be creative with what you've already got in your, in your wardrobe. So what you already own, so you don't have to go out and buy a whole lot of new clothes. So rather than packing summer pieces away, which I did this weekend, I really thought really carefully about what I was packing away. And the things like linens and sort of lightweight silks and chiffons and stuff, I've packed away because you can't winterize them. They just look ridiculous in the winter. So, but there are certain cottons that work really, really well. Or as I say, the dress that I'm wearing today is sort of lightweight fabric. As I say, summer dresses can be styled with chunky knits layered under blazers or paired with boots and tights to carry them sort of through the colder months. This way you feel like you're sort of extending the life of your wardrobe without feeling, as I say, the need to buy new, because you probably got more than you think. And I was delighted to find out that I actually had way more winter stuff that I can mix and match with my summer stuff, actually. So my wardrobe is looking really, really healthy, and that was a bonus, actually. So when it comes to adding pieces, though, focus on quality and longevity. Sort of invest in timeless. If you are going to invest in sort of timeless items like a tailored coat, leather boots, or versatile knit that you'll sort of wear year after year. Please, 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 let's avoid fast fashion from retailers like Shein or Temu. They're just not going to last, and they're really not helping sort of, with trying to be eco-friendly. We're all trying our best. And I know they're cheap and I know they're easy, but really they're not going to last for very long. And as I say, not great for the planet. So we're kind of building a wardrobe on durable, well-made pieces that sort of create styles that are actually going to endure. So as I said, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to bring in a dress and I'm going to show you how to wear it with a jumper. It's a little bit too warm still to do the jumper thing, but as I say, today I'm going to take off my blazer actually because it's quite warm in the studio. But the dress you'll see, as I say, for the purposes of radio, is sort of quite lightweight, and I popped it with some jeans, but I have worn this with sandals and a trainer in the summer. And coming up, putting on the Ritz, which is what I saw at I saw Top Hat at Milton Keynes Theatre a couple of weeks ago, and get ready to put on the Ritz. Honestly, every time I see Top Hat, I just want to do my whole jazz hands. And I saw this wonderful show at Milton Keynes Theatre a couple of weeks ago, and really did feel like I was sort of stepping back in time with dazzling dance, sparkling wit, and Irving Berlin's unforgettable music that had you dancing in your seat. And as I say, throwing the odd jazz hand, much to my son and my sister's complete embarrassment. But this romantic cocktail is laced with witty dialogue, gorgeous costumes, and I say Irving Berlin's irresistible score. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful songs, cheek to cheek. Let's face the music, and as I say, putting on the Ritz. Having been in a production of Top Hat about 8 years ago, it was really weird sitting there as an audience member, remembering absolutely word for word. And I can't say that I enjoyed being in the show, not because it's not a great show, because it is a great show, but it is the last time I'm going to be treading the boards. So, for those of you out there who are, desperate to see me treading the boards again, you're going to be waiting a very long time. I am not doing it again. And it's weird because people say to me, you're so confident. Why don't you're a born performer? But what does that actually even mean? I'm not a born performer. I'm much more comfortable being me, much more comfortable being on air, just being Nancy Stevens, than assuming a character. So I found when I did Top Hat, I was a sort of chorus girl ensemble, and I had a couple of lines, and I just found it really, really stressful. assuming a persona of someone else. I love the dressing up. I love the crazy wigs and everything. And there's some dodgy pictures I put on my socials last week about me wearing sort of some awful wig. So that side was fun, but the actual rehearsing, the learning the lines, I really, really didn't enjoy it. The one scene in Top Hat is the hotel scene, which again, when I was in the show, I really didn't enjoy it. It's long. It feels quite laborious. It's a bit boring, actually, and I felt that when I was watching the show last week as well. So it did sort of drag on quite a bit. But the leads were wonderful. My favourite was Madge, played by Sally Ann Triplett. I mean, she absolutely stole the show. She's a fantastic actress, many, many years of acting, and it really showed. And I'd sort of say out of the 6 leads, the 4 lesser leads, sort of Bedini, Bates, and Madge and Horace were my favourites. Absolutely loved them. When they were on, everyone was laughing and really, really invested. But I wasn't mad keen on the leads, actually. I just didn't feel that there was much chemistry between them. Great costumes. The dancing didn't feel hugely on point. I did find some of the ensemble weren't sort of perfectly in time, and sort of lines weren't fully sort of extended and sort of finished off. And I know I'm sounding like an expert here, but I do know a good dance when I see it, and their lines weren't fully finished, and it did feel like there were some timing issues, and I know I wasn't alone in my thoughts with that, actually. But as I say, it feels like some of the dance numbers could have been a little tighter timing wise. But overall, this is a real glittering slice of Golden Age Hollywood, and Top Hat it's a classic. It's 3 hours. It's nearly 3 hours long. It is too long. I know it's a classic, but it's a little bit too long. So I know it's on tour now. Next stop is Nottingham. I know you're not going to be able to trim it if you're listening, producers, but I would just say from an audience perspective, it is too long a show, but it is a great show. And as I say, if you love also all the classics, Top Hat is absolutely fabulous. Coming up, I'm going to be working with Waterstones. I'm going to be talking about Dr. Rachel Clarke's incredibly moving true story of a heart transplant. A moving and true tale of love, loss, and the incredible gift of organ donation through the lives of Kira and Max. It's a heartbreaking, inspiring. It's a heartbreaking and inspiring reminder of the power of giving life. So when 9-year-old Kira tragically died, her parents made the selfless decision to donate her heart, giving life to Max, a young boy in desperate need of a heart transplant. And Rachel Clarke, I mean, she is a doctor, but my God, she writes so beautifully. She writes like she's been writing all her life as well. I mean, imagine being a doctor and being brilliant at what you do, and then being a writer and being brilliant at that as well. I mean, that's just unfair. Some people only get sort of one talent, but she writes with such incredible sensitivity and compassion, and it's really poetic, and sort of offers a really sort of powerful reflection on the gift of sort of organ donation and the bonds that connect us as human beings. By spotlighting sort of Max and Kira's story, Rachel Clarke reminds us of how love can endure beyond sort of tragedy, transforming despair into hope. It really is a heartbreaking yet incredibly uplifting book, and I did cry quite a lot. I had to read it in bite-sized chunks because it's a really, really difficult subject matter. Reading as a parent, I suppose, and having seen my son in hospital for a very long time for something else, but the worry that you go through seeing your child sort of wired up to drips and things like that, it's just you can't even begin to describe. So to know that your child is going to die if he doesn't get a heart transplant, it just is, I can't even begin to imagine. But she reminds us how love can sort of endure beyond tragedy, transforming despair into hope. And the amazing thing about this is that Max, little Max, 9-year-old Max, sort of not created, but sort of set up the organ donation, known as Max's Law, Deemed Consent Act. So basically means most people aren't donors because they don't think about it. So if you're already a donor, you've got the option to opt out. And so if you're already a donor, then you don't have to think about it. And if something like this happens, then your organs are ready for donation, and you don't have to go through the whole trauma of trying to find donors that match. It's the matching processes. Do they match? Do the bloods match? Is it a suitable match? I mean, that's a thing that I kind of knew about, but I didn't realize in so much detail how much goes on behind the scenes. It's just incredible. But say the opt-out system, Max's law, is just because of this wonderful little boy, and the fact that Kira's family gave her organs so that Max could live. So gave him the heart, and her organs went to other children. It's just heartwarming. It's incredible. But it means. As I say, the aim of Max's law is to increase the number of organ donations and save more lives. And this little boy, who's now 15, so this was in 2017, so a long time ago. He's a teenage boy now, living his best life, but incredibly grateful. And every morning he wakes up and he says, "Good morning, heart. Thank you for giving me life." I mean, incredible. He won Pride of Britain Award. Justifiably so, and he's so humble, and his family are incredible. And usually with organ donation, the donor is anonymous, but the families met and became friendly, and the connection that they're going to have is going to be there for the rest of their lives. And it is an incredible book. I'm in awe. This is Women's Prize Shortlisted Nonfiction 2025. And to be honest with you, when this book was presented as a book to read by Stephen Waterstones, I looked at it, I thought, oh, I don't fancy that. It just, yeah. I mean, this is the premise. This is the unforgettable story of how one family's grief transformed into a life-saving gift. With a tremendous compassion and clarity, Dr. Rachel Clarke tells the story of a girl, a boy, and the heart they share. In doing so, she explores the history of remarkable medical innovation stretching over a century and involving the knowledge and dedication of not just surgeons, but of countless physicians, immunologists, nurses, and scientists. And the only thing I knew about heart transplants was Dr. Christian Barnard, who performed the first human heart transplant in South Africa back in 1966. So that was all I knew about it. But what goes on behind the scenes is just absolutely incredible. This book is such a brilliant read, and Story of a Heart absolutely had my heart. Coming up, all the sparkle of the Strictly Live first show. Da 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 da. Sequence at the ready. Strictly is back. Oh my God, it is back with a bang. The first live show brought all the glitz, glamour, and a few nerves to the dance floor. Who's got the moves and who's got two left feet? Let's find out. What a first show. I really, really don't know where to start. Firstly, Amber Davies had to step in because Danny Dyer broke her ankle. So, of course, everyone's moaning about the fact that Amber Davies is trained musical theatre. We get this every year, yada, yada, yada. It's, we always have trained dancers on. It makes it a bit more interesting. Very rarely does someone who's a West End style win. So calm down, guys. If you're moaning about the fact that she's a professional, she came in at 24 hours notice. They couldn't get a novice in to do the dance at 24 hours notice. So for those of you who are hollering about that, calm your nerves, because it really is nothing to stress about. She's amazing, and the fact that she is professional, but she's never done ballroom and Latin. It's very different to doing musical theatre. So she stepped in and did an incredible job, as you would expect. Lewis Cope, again, everyone's moaning and saying, oh, he did Billy Elliot, he's professional. A jive is very different to what he would have done Billy Elliot when he was 12 years old. Again, calm down, guys. Fantastic jive, really showy, lots of cartwheels and box jumps and splits, and he started on the judges' table, which is really, really brave thing to do. I tell you who I love. It's been a real surprise is Vicky Patterson. I didn't know anything about her. All I know is that she was in Geordie Shore, which I think was not a particularly classy program on our screens about 10 years ago. But she is so funny, so self-deprecating, and some of the things she comes out with are just hilarious. And she was absolutely crippled with nerves, but she smashed it. She did a great show. So that was just wonderful to see, because I can't imagine how nerve-wracking that would be on a Saturday night to come out in front of however many million, it's the biggest show on television, and dance live. I can't even begin to, I was talking about the fact that I was in Top Hat earlier and how nervous I got, and that's why I don't do performing. Diane and Stefan, so Diane Buswell and Stefan Dennis are the predictable Aussie coupling, and they danced very predictably to the theme tune to Neighbours. Yeah, he wasn't bad actually. He's definitely got musicality. I don't think they'll go right through to the end because I just don't think it'll happen. And she's pregnant, as I said last week, so I think that's quite a safe pairing actually. Gladiator Harry has all the moves, so he was great fun to watch. Really, really enjoyed watching him actually, and incredibly likable. I didn't really like Alex and Johannes Jojo. He seemed a bit subdued actually, so definitely wasn't my favourite dance of the night. Footballer Jimmy did an amazing quick step. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Again, super humble guy. Really enjoyed that. And Lavoie, my favourite, my beloved Lavoie. Her pink pony got stuck, and she was due to sort of be hoisted down and from the ceiling, and anyway it got stuck, so that couldn't happen. So but she coped really well, and a lot of amusing quips with Tess as well, and she's very entertaining. So Lavoie is going to be great with Aliash as well. But I did feel that she received a slightly passive-aggressive telling off from Shirley, actually, which I thought was a bit early on for Shirley to be telling people off, actually. And she was just sort of saying that she felt that, and I know she's there to give comment, that Lavoie was a bit in control and that she needed to let Aliash take control. But it did feel slightly passive-aggressive, and that she was telling her to not be so bossy. I don't know. That's the vibe I got. I was a bit like, ooh. Tom Skinner and Amy, just no, not a fan. I'm really hoping he doesn't sort of last for a few weeks, really. But the shock of the night, oh my God, was Karen Carney, footballer, did the most insane jive. They saved the best for last. It was incredible. Her retractions, her kicks and flicks were just off the charts, and everyone if I'd been in the audience, I think I would have been, because we were at home going, oh my God, what just happened? She was incredible and so humble again. Humility will take you a long way, contestants. Just saying, at the end when she was being interviewed by a test, she just said, thank you for having me. I mean, it was so lovely, just incredible. So definitely one to watch. So my ones that I'm going to looking out for are obviously Amber, Karen, Jimmy, Luke, and George, who's a content creator, very sweet guy as well. So I think he definitely wants to watch. And I love the intro dance at the beginning where they went through the sort of the decades with the come dancing, and the girls had the sort of old-fashioned ball gowns, which were just huge hooped skirts, and Craig had a dodgy wig on, and it played a lovely homage to the origins of Strictly, because Come Dancing was so popular in the 70s, and then obviously Strictly Ballroom. It's an amalgamation of both the incredible 90s Australian film. So it was lovely, and it went through the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and the 2000s, and it was great, really, really amusing. I cannot wait for next week. And coming up, we have the most awkward show to watch on television. Here we go. The delightfully awkward sitcom where the characters break the fourth wall and drag you right into the family chaos. Want cringe, charm, and lots of laughs? Stay tuned. Here We Go is a brilliant BBC comedy that takes everyday family life and makes it hilariously awkward. It follows the Jessup's parents, Paul and Rachel, and their kids, Amy and Sam, plus Grandma, played brilliantly by Alison Steadman. She just dominates every scene, but in a good way. Absolutely fantastic. What makes it different is the way it's filmed. Sam, the teenage son, records the family's chaos on his camcorder, and the characters, as I say, often break the fourth wall talking directly to us, which I love, breaking the fourth wall. I just think for me, it makes the show what it is. So for those of you who don't know what breaking the fourth wall is, this is it. So I'm talking blah, 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 talking to camera. That's breaking the fourth wall. So you're looking to camera, you're talking to camera. That's all it is. Nothing clever, but it works very, very well. And it kind of feels like they're talking directly to us, and it kind of gives us that kind of mockumentary feel, but also ramps up the cringe factor, because we're right there in the middle of every single misunderstanding, mishap, and painfully awkward moment. It is so funny and warm, and a little bit too relatable. And they've also got Rachel's brother, who comes in with his wife, and they've had a baby, and he is absolutely brilliant. I've completely forgotten what his name is. The guy, he's created the series, but him and Jim Howick, who plays Paul, were in Ghosts together, and it's just got that weird vibe, that awkwardness that Ghosts had as well. So it is brilliant, and I just discovered it. It was just one of those things, flicking through. I just wanted something light to watch on iPlayer. I didn't want another psychological drama, and Benji, my son, and I just came across it, and it was one of those things you could sort of dip in and out of it. It was great. Half-hour episodes, really, really funny. It's so worth watching. It's called Here We Go, and it's on iPlayer. And coming up, oh gosh, I'm so excited about this. I have my sweet guest, Bake Off professional finalist Tracy Wong, who's the founder of Tea Sweet Map at Canal Street Coffee, and we're going to be tasting some of her delicious pastries. My taste buds are watering, and I've got Tracy Wong, who is the co-founder of Canal Street Cafe, a finalist from Bake Off the Professionals, and she's brought in some sweet treats, and we've got so much to talk about. Welcome to my show, Tracy.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited. The fact that there's sweets and sweet things in the studio is literally my favorite thing in the world, and you have become so well known within Milton Keynes in such a short space of time. Your creations, and they are just beautiful. I'm just going to hold one up to camera actually, just to show you to start with, because they are, I mean, what's not to love? But more of that later. We're going to talk about the beginning, how it all got started. So born and raised in Hong Kong, and later moved to Australia, where you sort of worked initially as a counsellor before turning to pastry. That's quite a change, counsellor to pastry. How did that all come about?
So back to at least 10 years ago, I loved baking at home. So when I used to live in Australia, I studied and raised over there for more than 12 years before I moved to the UK. So I worked as a counsellor, 9 to 5 office work. And then during my free time, I love baking. And then there is a big show in Australia. It's called the MasterChef Australia.
Oh yeah, huge.
It's really good. So basically I follow that every season, and then they always share a recipe, and then I try to do it at home, and then I always bake cakes for my friends. So I really enjoy it. It's kind of like take my stress out from work when I concentrate on recipe, and then put flour, sugar together, and then you put it in the oven, and then you just look like a 3-year-old kid watching the oven, and then say, oh, is that going to be okay? Is that taste okay? That's how my journey started to love baking and cooking for friends.
So as a little girl, were you not fascinated by baking? Is this something that's obviously come to you later in life then?
Yeah, definitely not. Like when I was young, as a little girl, like I'm grew up in Hong Kong, so basically you always concentrate with your study. Education is the big thing. So
academia, yeah.
I never bake or cook in Hong Kong, and then soon later I moved to Australia for study. Then of course I live on my own with your friends. Then you have to start learn how to cook. So soon after I start enjoy a little bit of baking, especially like I said earlier, I try to take some stress out from work. Then I enjoy baking. That's how I start interested in baking.
So at that point, did you think, I could do this professionally, or were you just purely doing it for pleasure?
Oh, no, never think that I can do it as a professional. I still remember for first few cakes that I make for my friend's birthday is disgusting, it's disaster. And then never thought that would be a professional. It's just something like I do on my free times. And I still remember one of the cakes I'm doing for my friend's birthday. And then they look at it, ooh, what's that? It's just like normal cheesecake. You don't need to bake, mix everything together. And then I have no idea how to do decoration. I just put chocolate sauce, happy birthday glitters. And then they have no idea it's cakes. They were thinking something savory. So that is the memory they will never forget about it. And then they're always teasing me about it.
So did you practice on your friends initially? So they were your guinea pigs. You would just say, so I hope you don't mind, guys. And I know it doesn't look like a cake, but it's supposed to be a cake. Just give it a go.
Definitely. And then they are so nice to me. They always say, oh, okay, Tracy, bring us something special. All right, let's give it a go. And then they are just the best. They never say no.
Really supportive. And the thing is, that's what you want. It's actually when we met last week and I came into your wonderful kitchen and you showed me in sort of what you do every day and the piping and the creativity, which I will put on my socials, which was fascinating. But we're talking about the fact that there's such a link between fashion and food. And it's about creating a look and getting people to try things that they wouldn't normally try, which would more of later. But I remember when I first started as a stylist, again, like you, I had no idea. I knew that I probably wanted to do it, but I just practiced on my friends. I did their colors, I did their makeup, probably didn't do it very well, and that's how I built up my portfolio. And my friends were so supportive, and that's you've got to start somewhere. And I think it's amazing if people actually know from a really early age. Like a lot of people who are maybe doctors, they're very vocational, they know they're going to be a doctor. But I guess for us, sort of later in life, we found our passion later in life, but oh my goodness, now we found it, there's no stopping us, is there?
That's it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about what you've brought in today as well, because there's some creamy items that need to be eaten very, very quickly. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at those and see what you brought in today, and also again about pushing us out of our taste comfort zone. I'm really excited about that. Welcome back to the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show here on the New Horizon Radio, where I'm talking to Tracy Wong from Canal Street and Bake Off professional finalist, and you've got some lovely things for us to try now. So would you like to show us what you brought in and why as well? The most important thing is the why. Well, the taste is important, but the why.
Definitely. So today I have bring a few different cakes for you to try. So the first one will be a Hong Kong milk tea sponge cakes. So if you can see it in the camera now, you will be able to see it. So that's the one at the back. So it's a very light sponges, and then they're all gluten-free. So that is the tea flavored cakes, and then the second one is the cinnamon pears mousse cake with white chocolate mousse. So I do remember that you love cinnamon, and then now it's kind of the season, like autumn, cinnamon, pears, like nothing go wrong with it. And back to the first design is the Hong Kong milk tea sponge cakes. So something really special about these cakes, because for my culture, my background, I'm original from Hong Kong, and then I'm born and raised in Hong Kong, moved to Australia, and every time when I left home, I feel homesick. I love the drink that is really famous in Hong Kong. You can get in any cafe, any places. You can get it in a drink form. So I have so many customers, they migrate to the UK, and then even though myself, I love the drink so much, and then I say like, I'm a baker, why don't I create something in a cake form? So this is more like a Hong Kong milk tea drink in a cake form. It's full of tea flavor, not overly sweet, with a very light sponges, gluten-free, very soft and light, and then aftertaste you will have a tea flavors in your mouth.
Lovely. So is this is your creation? Nobody else has done this?
No.
Oh my goodness, I'm so privileged.
Yeah, right. I will need to remove the plastic around the side. So.
Oh, it's too pretty. The thing with, because obviously it's such artistry, isn't there? And such flair. And you are an artist, so I'm looking forward to this. Try not to make a complete mess of it. Oh, that's so lovely. Because it's not, as you say, it's not too sweet. It definitely tastes like tea.
That's it.
So what sort of tea is it?
So it's a really secret recipe that I'm brewing the tea first. So it takes a long time to get the tea flavors done. It's really, really strong. And then if you just drink the tea base like that, you won't be able to sleep at night.
Okay, right.
So you get a really strong tea base. That's how we normally do it in Hong Kong as well. And then that's why I have a milk tea layers in the middle. And then that gives you the really, really strong flavor of the tea. And then you get the vanilla sponge, which is gluten-free, very light and airy, not too dense, and then very little sugar used as well. And then the finishing with the tea cream flavors, so give you a little bit more kick of the tea flavors, but it just kind of quite settle, and then it stay in your mouth. And then not overly sweet. That is something very special.
Oh my God, that is so, so lovely. Absolutely obsessed with that, actually. That is so nice, because I actually don't drink a lot of tea because I'm quite fussy. My taste buds are not, I'm not really a hot drinker. But it's interesting that you say that as an actual tea, that's not going to be amazing. It's going to be too strong and keep you awake all night. But that definitely has got a tea flavour about it. And the only tea I actually drink is Redbush or Rooibos tea, because it's a really good tea and it's full of antioxidants. But most tea I don't drink. But I really, really like it. As you say, it's not too sweet. It's really, really creamy, and it's just I like the aftertaste. It's definitely a tea taste, but in a good way.
That's it, yeah. It's just something really special. Like, for example, if people craving for something chocolatey, I won't recommend this one. That's why all my creation have a different story behind. If someone craving for chocolate, I will put different fruit into it. So it's still kind of like balancing the flavor, not overly sweet. If you have met enough Asian people, we all love dessert, but we always mention about like, oh, we love dessert, but not overly sweet. So that is my principle, something I always keep that in mind. When I create something, I want to make sure they can taste it, but not overly sweet. When they finish, they want more, rather than I give you something super sugary, and then when you finish, you will say, oh my God, I can't have any more dessert for the next month.
Yes, and I have got a very, very sweet tooth, but that's just the right amount of sweet, because I could cheerfully munch my way through that. This is really, really lovely. So when did you first create that? Was that created for Bake Off, the professionals, or was this something a recent?
So this is the one that I created when I first opened Canal Street Coffee Shop. So it's kind of like identity, who am I? And then when I'm doing the Bake Off Professional, I have bring in the matcha into the show. One of the episodes, they have the secret recipe and ask us to create something with matcha. And then I was like so happy about it because I love matcha. And for customer in the UK, especially in Milton Keynes, not many people know about it. Back to 10 years ago, now everyone loves matcha, which is really good. And it's just really difficult to get people to try something different. And then whenever they tried it now, it just make my day. They say, oh, I don't know what is it. But they give it a go. Oh, that's very nice. That just make my day.
It's so lovely because, as I say, when I came into Canal Street last week, and we talked about pushing people out their comfort zone, and you and I both have to do that sort of pretty much on a daily basis. I have to get customers to try on things that they would never normally try on, and that whole kind of fear of, oh my God, I don't want to try this because I've always worn skinny jeans, and I don't want to try a wide leg pair because it's going to make me look big or whatever. So that fear of trying something new, and again for you, trying to get customers to change their perception of what they think is maybe a cultural thing for you, but also introducing your cultural influences into Milton Keynes it's been such a success, hasn't it? I mean, I know everyone is talking about this cake. Your cake is preceding your reputation in Milton Keynes, because before I knew who you were, I'd heard of this cake. So it's just incredible. So I'm going to be after the break, we're going to be talking about that cinnamon, because that is just begging to be eaten. And we're talking about Bake Off the Professionals as well. But I'm going to move over here again because I've got some more tasting to be done. So Tracy, we've got here, the purposes of radio, and I'll put this on my socials. This is so pretty, and this is, as you said, this is very autumnal, isn't it?
That's it. So this is a poached pear, cinnamon poached pear with white chocolate mousse. So this one will be a little bit more sweetened than the Hong Kong milk tea, but then you got the pear balancing really well with the cinnamon, and a little bit like jelly texture to combine nicely with the white chocolate mousse. And also outside you do have the caramelizing like chocolate dips, so give you some crunchiness from the almond nips and then the chocolate shell as well.
Oh my God, that's absolutely gorgeous, and it's lovely. I'm glad we did it that way around. As you say, if we'd done it this, because this is quite sweet, the other way around, it would have not had the tea cake would not have had so much flavour.
Definitely, yeah.
So you obviously did that intentionally. But this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to sit here and eat this all day because we've got other things to talk about. But this is so pretty. And as you said, this is the perfect autumn pudding, isn't it?
Definitely. So pear is like really nice texture as well. And also with the cinnamon, and then make it in a jelly form so people can kind of feeling like autumn, like quite warm and nice. It will be perfect cakes to have a cup of like flat white or cappuccino at a coffee shop, or even though with a black Americano will be really good, well balancing like two things. It's just like marriage really nice together.
Oh my God, that is absolutely gorgeous. So obviously we've talked about Bake Off. This is what changed your life, isn't it? Bake Off the Professionals. How on earth did you go from just trying out baking with your friends to ending up on one of the biggest cookery shows in the world?
So it's really funny story. Back to few years ago, and then I started my own business, Tea Sweet Map, at a home-based business. So I just like encourage myself to keep creating different cakes and then supply my cakes to coffee shop, restaurant, and then soon later back to 2020, and then Channel 4 sent me a message, invited me, would you like to go on the show? And then I was just saying, I'm just a home baker, and then of course I'm the head chef because I'm the only chef in the business. And then they just say like, just give it a go and apply. And then fast forward, I applied it, and then they accept my application, went for audition, and then luckily Cherries and Brahma, they like it, and then we shortlist to one of the 12 team, and then went on to the show.
Incredible. And the judges, I mean, how did you feel meeting the judges? Because Cherry's quite an intimidating person, I think. I mean, I watch her, and I would think I'd be a bit scared. Were you scared meeting them?
Well, definitely scared, nervous, and excited at the same time, because I only watching her on the show every single year, and until I went to the venue, and then I said, oh my god, I'm so nervous, just like a little fans, like meeting your idol. And then literally I have to say and then make it clear she is lovely. She's very nice, very friendly, and then give you lots of support and then tips how to improving in your career. So, but when the show's on air, everything have to be professional.
And how did you cope from sort of having been an amateur baker to being filmed? So you're being filmed, you're being asked to talk, and also you've got all the timings that, the timings and all, obviously the ingredients, and working in a kitchen that's not your own. How on earth do you cope under that pressure?
It's so stressful. I think it's still the most stressful thing I have done in my life. It's very great experience, and then even though when I think about it now, it just feels like it's happened yesterday. It's very stressful, but I learned a lot from it.
I mean, it is remarkable because we as viewers, we watch Bake Off, the normal Bake Off, and then the professionals, and not for once, it's one of those shows, not for 1 second do I sit there and think, oh, I could do that, because I literally can, I can only make one cake and one pudding. I love puddings, I love cakes, so it's my favorite thing in the world. You'd think I would have put some more effort in, but I just think, we can sit there as armchair critics and go, oh yeah, I could do that, but absolutely there's nothing that would entice me to sort of want to do a show like that. You really have to be confident, even though you were really nervous, to be confident about doing that. But cooking in a strange kitchen, I think that is the most difficult thing of all, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really, really stressful. It's definitely, especially the oven and everything, the induction that you never used before, but it's also really great experience to share with people. You try something different, you step out your comfort zone, and then also you have to be calm as well when you're nervous, which is really hard. And then you just have to think, if something not working, what are you going to do? What is the plan B? How can you going to fix it with a limited time? So that is what I learned from the show.
And also sort of, did you forget that the cameras were there? Did you sort of, because obviously you're all mic'd up as well. Did you forget that the cameras were there after a while, or were you still very, very self-conscious?
For the first few weeks, I always forgot about it. But then like microphone on, camera with you, and then just try to working at normal, because you have to frighten with the times. And sometimes the cameraman or the production team was saying, oh, Tracy, can you say it in a full sentence? But that is really stressful because everything is counting down. You need to get your work done. And it's just like all the practice come in. Now I got this experience, I can use it in my daily life.
It's incredible. I can't even imagine that level of stress. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're all enjoying sweet treats here in the studio, aren't we? It's been really lovely. Can't stop smiling, actually. So I'm talking to Tracy Wong, who was a finalist from Bake Off the Professionals, and we were talking before the break, Tracy, about the stress and the whole process. So talk me through how it all went. How did when the weeks went on, did you think, okay, I'm in with a chance? And when the judges are actually judging your creations, I mean, do you take it personally? Or do you think, oh no, I'm just doing a job? Were you able to sort of switch off?
So it's quite stressful. Like back to the first week, I'm keep saying like, if we are not losing for the first week, we are the winner. Because there's like 12 team out there, and then when the judge are coming to for the first week to judging our creation, I was so nervous. Basically, I feel so sick because before they judging the creation, you have to wait about 2-3 hours for your lunch, and then basically I couldn't eat. It's just like you got your butterfly in your stomach, and then you feel so sick about it, and then you just feel like, oh my god, what are they going to say? And then we are so nervous, but the experience, you will never forget about it. But it was all right for the first week.
And obviously the fact with the professionals is different to sort of normal bake-off, is that you're working in teams. Was that frustrating at times? Because obviously, you know, we all do things differently, different timings, different ways of creating. And, is that frustrating as a creative that you're having to sort of kind of compromise a little bit?
No, actually it's really good because we work as with another partner, so 2 people in the team. It's really good that we always have a discussion. So we always like practice before the show, and then we're practicing, and then we try to just changing different things as well. So it's really good to have someone you can talk to. They are professional, and then we always work something together. If something not working, we try to like get it fixed and then make it work for the show.
And sort of how long was the whole process from sort of start to finish? Because obviously you got to quarterfinals.
Yeah, quarterfinals.
So how many weeks process from sort of start to finish was that?
So there is a 10 week in total. So if you win for the first week, you go to the second week, you go to the third week, and then you have no idea how far you can go until the show's on air. You get judges. If you pass, then you will stay. Then next week you're going back to the show again until you fail. Then you say goodbye.
Aww.
So we were so lucky to went through to the quarterfinalists. That was like, I never think that we can go that far. Soon we passed the first week, we win it, and then I contact my family and say, oh, we won it. We can go to the next week. And then they're getting really excited. And then because it's quite tiring, every time you go away for 3 days, and then you've been so stressful for 2 days cooking non-stop. And then if you good enough to go to the next week, then you have to go back again. So we were so lucky, but very tiring as well.
But what's it like sort of watching yourself back? Because obviously, I mean, you trained in London and Paris, but seeing yourself on television, are you quite critical of yourself?
Definitely. Especially when I'm watching myself at home. Luckily, that was not luckily, but it was the lockdown year. So all my customers and my friends have nowhere to go. Normally, if they go to the coffee shop, I used to work before, they will get to see me face to face. But because like no one get to go to the shop, so they watching at home, and then they always tag me and share with me, oh Tracy, you are amazing. But when me and watching with my family, they say like, why you are so funny like that? And then I have to try to explain. I try to fix this, but didn't work. But then the cameraman asking me question, I have to reply at the same time when I'm baking. Is
It's giving me anxiety. That really is. And also, there's so much editing that goes in. I mean, obviously, you would have filmed for hours and hours and hours, and they would have edited it very heavily for an hour or two show to go out. So it's clever editing on their part. But did you ever say something when you were mic'd up that you shouldn't have said?
Well, that is happened quite a lot of time. But especially when we plan something, so okay, this will be fine, we can do it, and after that it didn't work. I said, oh my god, what are we going to do? It didn't work. And then of course the cameraman pick it up. They will say, ooh, look like Tracy having some difficulty. They zoom come to say, oh Tracy, how's everything? I said, no, everything is fine. And then because they pick it up and then they realize something didn't work, then I just said, no, but that's fine, we got plan B, plan C. And then my partner will say,
Have we?
And then he got a big question mark, and then literally like we have no plan B. But then we end up managed to have something on the table.
It's incredible because I guess being a chef under those that situation is you're a bit like a duck. So everything looks really sort of calm on the outside, and underneath you're frantically paddling, thinking, no, it's all good. But obviously for the purpose of television, you've got to keep going to make interesting television. But I think there's little outtakes where you make mistakes. Must make it quite interesting, though.
Yeah, definitely. But also it's good though. Like I think the best thing I learned about the show is when things didn't work, that is okay. But how are you going to get it fixed in a short period of time? And then that's also same for our life as well. When things didn't go to what you want. But never give up, and then try something different, and things will be okay.
It's a wonderful success story, and we're going to talk in a bit about the wonderful Canal Street Cafe and created the most beautiful macaroons I've ever seen. So Tracy, we were talking off air about making the perfect macaron. As you say, a lot of stubbornness involved in this, isn't there?
Definitely, yeah. So I always tell people I'm quite stubborn, but you need to be stubborn enough in order to be a chef, that I would say. You need to love what you do, passionate about what you do as well. If you fail once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, it's okay. Keep doing it until you succeed. So macaron is one of the samples that I have failed so many times until I can make it now.
And we've brought another one in, which I'm going to swoop round.
So this is the big version of it.
Oh my God, that's so
if
pretty.
you see this one, it's a big version of the macaron. So when little one not enough, you can have the whole one like a burger.
That honestly, that is so pretty. That is too good to eat. So what flavour is this one?
So this one is the vanilla cream with blueberry compote. So
Wow.
same again, something balancing really nice, not overly sweet, because macaron could be quite sweet as well. So I always try to put different fruit into it. So you just have 5 a day, so it's healthy cake.
5 a day. I love that 5 a day. That is brilliant. That is so pretty. I'm going to look at that for about 3 hours when I get home, then I'm going to eat it. So we need to talk about the incredible Canal Street. What a success story that has been. I mean, in your wildest dreams, this is what you wanted, wasn't it? You wanted to have your own business, and it is the most beautiful location, situated in Canal Wharf. I went there this morning, and a funny story. I need for a bit of context how Tracy and I met. Actually, context here. It's all about context. I'm very bad at remembering this sometimes. So about 6 months ago, I went to a book launch at Waterstones, where there was an author called Ben Aiken who'd written a book called I can't say the word on air, something breaks. So a play on city breaks, but basically inferring that all the cities that he'd visited around the UK were less than attractive, and Milton Keynes was one of them. And for those of us who live in Milton Keynes, we know it, we love it, and we won't hear a bad word said against it. And he actually visited Milton Keynes, and he absolutely loved it. And he wasn't maligning any of the places that he went to. But what I did discover from the book was Canal Street. I'd never heard of it before. So fast forward a couple of months. I've been in a couple of times. Benji and I have been in, and obviously, what I love and what a lot of customers love is the fact that it's gluten-free, and
Definitely.
which is really important because a lot of people are sort of celiac now. And then a job came up, and Benji applied, and Benji is now a supervisor at Canal Street, and so he sees Tracy every single day, and it's kind of our local coffee shop. But it's so weird that chance encounter, that random encounter at Waterstone 6 months ago has come full circle, and now I have Tracy on my show. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah, that's meant to be.
It was so meant to be. The success of the coffee shop is incredible. I mean, in your wildest dreams, could you have ever foreseen how busy you guys are? I've been in when it's busy, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's luckily enough we have lots of customers been enjoy coming to the coffee shop, and especially I've been creating my cake business, Tea Sweet Map, for about 6-7 years in Milton Keynes now. So I have a group of really lovely customers supporting me from day one. So fast forward 2 years ago, we found the location in Canal Wharf, and then we opened the coffee shop. And since then, I just enjoy baking. I work almost every day for the last 2 years, and just love what I'm doing. That's most important. And then seeing customer every day coming in, they enjoy a cup of tea, coffee, and then with the cakes, like how you tried earlier. And then when they're eating it, they're doing like that. They just melt my heart. Then I was like, okay, keep working hard.
And the fact is that you have regulars. I mean, Benji is there, so working every day, as are you. And he said he's now seeing the same faces. And it's wonderful that an independent coffee shop is doing so well and is thriving. And, out of all the big chains, which I refuse to support, I'm just, we have amazing independent businesses like Canal Street that we should be supporting, who make incredible coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I just go there for your pastries, the cinnamon buns, and the ambiance is just fabulous. And the views, I mean, this morning, just watching the sunrise over Campbell Marina, it was just so beautiful.
That's it, yeah. I think the location, we are very lucky to find it. Back to 2 years ago, before we first opened, we bit worried about like no one coming to this end, because like before we opened, he was like, oh, we have never heard about this area, like no one know this area as well. So we are so lucky. It's kind of like people make it to a destination, they're coming here, they enjoy the view, they enjoy the coffee and cakes, and then most importantly, just make themselves feel like home there.
And it is, as I say, it is such a wonderful success story. And as you say, it is kind of out the way because it's not in a shopping centre. You know, there's no sort of passing trade, as it were. But the fact is that, you know, it's become a destination coffee house. It must make you so proud. And then, as you say, you're creating and serving your beautiful cakes every single day. Must make you a very happy girl.
Definitely. Even though after 2 years, I still can't believe it. Every day when I go into work, no matter how tired I am, once I get into the shop, I say hello to the team, good morning, and I start my day. When you see regular customer coming in, they chatting to you, and then they remember what they like to eat, what they like to do, and then they always go to the same table, doing the same thing. It just feels like you're welcoming your extended family coming to your shop, enjoy what they're doing, and then they enjoy watching me baking, and then we have the conversation. That's just the best thing I have every day. And
this, you know, obviously doing the, you know, Bake Off was such a great platform, but your talent, you know, that must seem like quite a long time ago. Your talent now and the customers that you have now, you know, that almost sort of doesn't really matter anymore, because that was quite a long time ago. Now is what matters, are the fact that people keep coming back day in, day out. They love your pastries and you're bringing so much joy, and also it's the visual. I mean, we eat with our eyes, don't we?
Definitely.
You know, and I mean, I think I'm so happy that Canal Street is doing so well, and I wish you guys, and not that you need it, because every time I go there, it was so busy. Wish you guys every success. How can we find you on social media, Tracy?
Yeah, so if you go to your Instagram or Facebook, not Facebook for the coffee shop, but on Instagram you can find Canal Street MK. And for my personal cakes, you can order birthday cake as well. And unfortunately, last week my account got hacked and suspended, which I got all my lovely customer in the past. But now you can follow my new Instagram account. It's called TA Sweet Map by Tracy. So all the update, everything you will be able to find there, and you also can find my website, and then more information will be there.
Thank you so much. And you have been just so sweet. Thank you, Tracy, for being such a great guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on the Nancy Stevens Lifestyle Show. I hope you've enjoyed the fashion tips, wellness ideas, strictly gossip, and my pick of the week. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday for more style, sparkle, and everything you need to make your week a little brighter. I cannot wait to see you then.